Did you know that in order to be in the top 5% of income earners in the US, you only need to bring in around $350,000 per year, or around $29,000 per month, or around $7,300 per year? Let's talk
Week.
about it. I mean, yeah, per week. My bad. Let's talk about it on the League of Hustlers. Coast HT.
I'm CD Barnes.
And as always, this is the league, man. So jumping right into it, a lot of people have this misconception that to be at, the top 1%, top 5%, top 10%, that there's some ridiculous amount of money when it's actually not. All right. According to recent studies, in order to be in the top 5%, you only need to bring in $350,000 per year. Right. We're gonna just dive into this real quick, right? What are your thoughts on that, bro?
350K is it's not a ton of money, you know.
Mhm.
It's definitely doable, especially if you're in a two income. Does the study say anything about a single versus a family or
Just period.
just period? So either way, as a family unit, this is something that's definitely doable if you have a full-time job and a side hustle. Maybe your spouse has a full-time job, a side
Right,
hustle, or man, you may just have a great business,
right.
booming on the side, and then you can definitely achieve $350,000 a year. It's not
Easy.
that much money. It's doable.
Right, right. And I don't know where and why people don't look stuff like this up, right? Like, this is one of the most important, whether we want to believe it or not, or whether we agree with it or not, money is a measurement, right? And it is not to be exalted, it's not to be placed on a pedestal, but it is a measurement of the amount of value that you add to the world, right? In
Exactly.
terms of the markets, right? So it is important. So why don't people like really analyze these things and analyze like what are the actual percentages? How do you make that much? I think that's one of the biggest um I guess lack of, whatever that makes so many people fall behind and fall into this rat race simply by being ignorant to the fact of financial management, right? And
Yeah.
I'm guilty of it too. I think a lot of people are guilty of it, but we have to make a conscious effort to really dive deep into one of the most important things that measures the value that we provide in the world.
I think you just really hit a key point though with the whole metrics. And so it's not you
Right,
need to measure. You have to measure. You need to know where you are and where you stand.
right,
And it's not about necessarily being competitive or trying to be, there's a fine balance with knowing where you stand and then trying to compete with everybody all the time. That's not necessarily the case, but you need to know where you stand and can you do better?
right,
And that's really what it boils down to with the metrics. You need to know where you are and really look at yourself and say, can I do better? And if you can, then you should. Um, but yeah, 350,000, man, it's definitely doable. You don't need, and another key I think is sustainability. So a lot of
right,
people are looking for, I need to make this $50 million thing happen, and then that's it. They're out with this $10 million thing and they're done. But
right,
with sustainability in mind, if you can maintain $350,000 a year over the course of 30 years, you've done
right.
well, you know?
Yeah, and a number you hear thrown around a lot now too is like 100,000, right? Six figures. That's what they say. Six
Right,
figures. Six figures. Six figures. All right, that's 100. You know what I mean?
right.
At 100, looking at this chart, this is from 2020, right? The numbers do vary per year depending on what just is going on in the overall market. But generally speaking, and right here from Investopedia, which is a reputable site, 2020 average annual wages for the top 10% of earners, that number was 173,000. top 5%, 342,000, top 1%, 823,000, and 0.1%, 3.2 million, right?
There you
So
go.
this just kind of puts it in perspective, right? But the key to all of this, I think, the key to all of this is understanding that the little known fact is that if you invest in the S&P 500, you're going to be looking at 10% returns on average.
Right.
10% returns on average. This is to me this is hopeful, right? And this is tracked just over decades and it's consistently on average return 10%, the S&P 500 index, right? That gives us hope. That means that if I put a certain amount in the S&P 500, I'm going to yield on average 10% off of that, right?
What
Like,
does that mean though, right?
yeah.
For us. What does that mean for us? We're talking about, this $350,000 a year metric. So, with the keeping that in mind though, right? This
Mhm.
10%, if you can gather enough cash to where you can make your money can earn you $350,000 a year, right? So how
Right,
much money would you need? That's $3.5 million. So if you
right,
can amass right, so if you can amass in a one time $3.5 million, put it in the S&P, your money itself is now in that top 5% bracket of earners. And
right,
that's really the beauty of, and that's a part of the whole thing, how the rich get richer and all of those things. Because once you actually amass this money, if you know what to do with it, I can put that 3.5 mil in the S&P 500, average 10%, and still my money is making in the top 5%, let alone I could still be doing something as a high value earner myself
right.
and earning that as well,
Exactly,
you know?
exactly. And so that's the next thing that we should all be thinking about, right? The next thing is understanding that there's a specific amount of money that you need that you will be able to live off of the interest. And that number is specific to you and specific to your goals, specific to what you want to accomplish in life. How do you want to travel? How do you want to drive? How do you want to
Right.
eat? How do you want to live? Right.
Yeah.
And so you find that number. And that's one thing we teach in the Dream Stream strategy. If you don't know about it, check it out. We'll leave a link in the description. But we teach about first figuring out what your dream life is like and then coming up with strategies to attain that dream life. Okay. Um, the key is starting with that goal. Everyone's number is different, right? And we actually found a clip from Kevin O'Leary, right? Of course, billionaire from Shark Tank, or maybe not billionaire, but hundreds of millionaire. And let's cue up this clip really quickly. Let's go here, but he brought it home, right? And just put it into perspective. Let's play this clip and discuss. All right.
To get to a place where you have $5 million in the bank because you can survive the rest of your life no matter what happens and your family. You can take care of a lot of people making
Can
six or
you hear
seven
that?
percent of $5 million. When you make that, you
Yeah,
have
it's a
to set
little
that
low.
capital aside and you don't risk it. Then after that, you can start to take risk capital and put it to work. A place where you have $5 million in the bank because you can survive the rest of your life no matter what happens and your family. You can take care of a lot of people making 6 or 7% of $5 million. When you make that, you have to set that aside and you don't risk it. Then after that, you can start to take risk capital and put it to work. You have
So basically, if you weren't able to hear it, it is kind of low on the short video anyway. But he said you got to get to the place where you can make amass $5 million, right? And then from there, being conservative. I know we just talked about that the S&P 500 on average yields 10%, but he says being conservative, you can live off of 6 to 7% of that, right? So that's 3 to 4% under that 10% on average that it returns. So being conservative, right? If you amass that 5 million, put it into the markets and live off of 6 to 7%, right? That would At 7%, that would land you at that 350 off of $5
5
million,
million.
right? That would land you on a consistent basis, right,
Right.
into the top 5% of
Top
earners.
5%.
And this is without you doing anything, bruh, right? That's
Sitting
that's
back.
that's kind of dope. And you're just living off of the returns.
Yeah, your money is now a high value earner for you. If
Right.
you do nothing else, your money itself is going to earn $350,000 a year.
Dope concept. And you're not doing anything, right? And you got another 3 to 4% that's still sitting in there that you didn't touch, right? You only touched 6 to 7, so it's another 3 to 4% just still sitting in there on that 5 million, and it's just stacking up. It's compounding, right? And so you're making even more, and that 5 million is still gonna grow, even though you're pulling out 6 to 7%, right? So
Right.
the key to all of this, I believe, is to find your number, right? If you need help with it, check out the Dream Stream strategy, right? Where we show you how to create, master, and maintain multiple streams of income, right? So that you can live that life of your dreams. So you can create that dream life. We walk you through creating your dream life. You see what I'm saying? So we literally have a whole section in there where you sit down and you plan out your dream life, and then you attach numbers to it. How much do the cars cost? How much do the houses cost? How much do the vacations cost? How much does each and every detail of your life cost? Once you get that number, then you have something to work with. You know a target that you need to hit, right? And then you just work backwards from there. And it's just
Right.
that simple. Not easy, but it's simple.
Right. Yeah, gotta have that vision in your mind first. Um, and then it gives you that goal. It gives you a
Right.
place, it gives you a destination. You may not need the 5 million, you may only need 3 based on the lifestyle that you want to live. But it does give you a goal. And Dream Stream strategy is just that. We're talking about building streams, and this is one could be one of those streams for you, you know, generating a substantial amount of money, 5 million, like Kevin was saying, and putting that in the S&P. That's a serious stream of income. Um,
Serious.
yeah,
And dropping you in that top 5%, right? At top 10
easily.
even. Right at top one, at top point one, you just keep growing, man. That's what we're all about at the League of Hustlers, helping you to prepare to prosper. If this video is helpful to you, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and drop a comment and let us know where you are. Let us know your goal. Make it public, all right? And check out definitely the Dream Stream strategy. That's it for this episode on the League of Hustlers. If you have questions, hit us up at questions@leagueofhustlers.com and we'll get back with you. Anything else, bro?
That's it. League of Hustlers. We out.